Hey everyone, and welcome back to Reddit Recon, where we read Reddit posts so you don't have to. Today we're going to look at posts on Am I the A-hole? This one's from Throwaway679. Am I the a-hole for calling my husband delusional for demanding I give him 50% of profit of my business that he didn't support? My husband is a bank clerk and I have a work from home job which I barely bear, since I'm an active outdoor person and I like doing gardening stuff in particular. I figured since I have a background in gardening, I decided to use our spacious backyard to grow flowers and sell them online after arranging and organizing them into bouquets. When I brought this up with my husband, he said that it was the worst idea ever, adding this would be a major waste of money and time, and suggested I looked for a second job. I didn't listen and started my business little by little. In a matter of 18 months, it started bringing decent money and I gained customers. My husband offered to look at how much I was able to make in the past months and was impressed. The other day, he was standing there with his drink while I was checking my flowers. He talked about what a good job I was doing keeping our business flowing. I corrected him about it being our business and reminded him about how little faith he had in my potential to make decent money out of growing, selling, cut flowers. He was like, "Well, I didn't honestly think that your little gardening hobby was going to get anywhere, but now that business is flourishing, I want my fair share of profit and won't settle for anything less than 50%. I was puzzled and asked why he thought he should get any share of profit, let alone 50%. His answer was that I was using his soil to grow my flowers on. I said, this is our house, our soil, not just his since we were married and both our names are on the title. He was like, actually, I own this house long before you came along, so technically it's mine. I replied that he must be aware it'll be split in half in case of separation. He laughed and joked about how silly I was for hinting separation just because he was asking for something that he so richly deserves, which is 50% of the profit. I said no and that he was delusional to ask because even his soil alone doesn't magically grow my flowers. There's a lot of work to it, from picking, buying seeds, taking time, effort to care for them, collecting, trimming, and selling them while all he does is sit back. I said it didn't matter to him when I started using his soil, why now? He said it always matters when money's involved. We had an argument about it and he apologized, but only for approaching the subject rudely, but still wants his 50%. He's been silent about it since after stating that he already said what he needed to say, and I needed to make the right decision. Am I the a-hole? To clarify, my husband and I both have our own salaries we contribute equally towards expenses. It's his idea since he had a divorce before. He still has things that's in his own name, which isn't bad since money has never been an issue. It's not like he needs money for an emergency or something, he just wants 50% of the profit going forward. Let's go ahead and read this next post by date 2021. Am I the a-hole for refusing to move my wedding date because my brother's getting married the same day? My family are hardcore Christians and my brother Ross and I had always been on bad terms. It extended to our adulthood and I stopped talking to him after he mistreated my fiance Adam and I uninvited him to our wedding. Adam and I got engaged in 2019. We set a date for our wedding, which is on October 9th. Tim announced his girlfriend was pregnant days ago, and our parents went crazy and demanded that they get married the next month. Tim agreed under the conditions that he chose which day the wedding will be. My parents agreed even though they're funding the entire thing. I got a call from my uncle saying Tim is getting married on October 9th. I was shocked because this date is my wedding date. I knew he did it deliberately after I uninvited him for my wedding, and I had no intentions on attending his, but I went to see what the deal was. Adam refused to meet me at my parents' house, saying, "You take care of it and get back to me." I found most of my family there, including Tim and his girlfriend. I brought up the date and asked who chose it. Tim's girlfriend lied, saying my parents did, but my dad pointed saying Tim did. I asked Tim why he chose the date to be the exact same date as my wedding. He made a face and said to him, this is a free day since he never planned on attending my wedding, so he thought that date fits. I explained I worked for 2 years to be able to afford inviting and including everyone and that I chose this date first and want my whole family there. He shrugged, saying it's not his problem if people chose to attend his wedding over mine. I spoke to mom and she said I needed to move the date since Tim has to get married fast, as his girlfriend is in the 3rd month and they have no time. I explained how much I'll lose since I already paid for the venue, invitations with original dates, and spent money on menu and flowers. I pointed out that Tim chose this date to spite me and to divide the family and suggest they change the wedding date since they are having it at their house and paying for everything. Mom said she can't since she wanted the wedding on October and Tim and his girlfriend find it fair to choose that day. Tim said I should quit making this a competition on who gets married first, but I said it wasn't the case and I just wanted all my family at my wedding. Mom said if you want the whole family at your wedding, then you'll agree to move the date. You waited 2 years, can't you wait a little longer? My aunt agreed, but I thought it's illogical to expect me to move my wedding date and then threaten to not come if I don't. I got into a fight with Tim and left. My parents said if I want them at my wedding then I should postpone the date and I shouldn't blame them for not attending if I stick to my original date. Wow, this is one messed up family. I can't believe the parents took Tim's side on this one. He literally chose the date just to spite his brother. This is ridiculous, and he is definitely not the a-hole. Alright, let's take a look at this one from Lydia Blue. Am I the a-hole for causing my husband to miss his trip by not packing his bag despite him repeatedly asking? My husband travels for work every few months. He's irresponsible with time and counts on others to do stuff for him using the "I'm tired" excuse. He's the breadwinner, by the way. He had a business trip, and the day of the trip he saw me carrying the laundry basket and said, "Hey, can you pack my bag?" I asked why he didn't do it the night before, and he said he was up all night playing Fortnite. I asked why he can't pack now, and he replied, "I gotta go catch up with the boys before I leave the country." I said no, and that he should do it himself. He asked why not, and I told him that I had to go do laundry, then cook for the kids, then help them with homework, then wash the rugs, then clean the messy bathroom, then the playing room, then work on my garden project. He stood there with his eyebrow lifted as I went on. I suggested he stayed home, pack his own bag, and help around till it's time for his trip. He didn't like my suggestion and complained about missing the boys and wanting to see them one last time and say goodbye before he leaves. He begged, but I said no. He then suddenly went inside his bedroom. I thought he was packing, grabbed his phone, keys, and jacket, and rushed out. I just went about my day. I was concerned, thinking he had little time and still hadn't packed his bag yet. He returned home at 6 and walked into the bedroom and started panicking, asking why his bag wasn't packed and ready yet. I told him he should ask himself since he stayed gone for hours. He said he was counting on me to pack his bag and even sent me a text hoping I'd eventually do it. I didn't see the text, and even if I did, I never agreed, so he shouldn't have assumed I was going to pack his bag for him. He got upset and started packing. His stuff was all over the place. He couldn't even find his papers. He was finally done and left. I then got an angry call from him asking if I was happy. I said why, what happened, and he said he missed his flight. Just like I wanted. He came home and lost it, saying I'd lost him his business trip, which was supposed to earn him money, and made him look unreliable and unprofessional and compromised his work after I refused to do him this small favor and pack his bag. I responded that he shouldn't have hung out with his buddies literally hours before his flight, but he said he believed this was done spitefully to get him to sit home with me. I was shocked. No words, just shocked face. He called his friend saying his trip didn't happen, then turned to me and said, "Thanks to me." Then proceeded to ask where they were going to meet for dinner. He told me, no trip, meaning I'll be home for the next couple of weeks. Isn't that what you wanted? Great, we'll both now stay home and wallow in misery. God bless, and then walked out. Am I the a-hole? He said it just caused him issues at work. Should I have packed his bag anyways? Why he couldn't be on the next flight? Because since he missed his flight the company was paying for, he was required to pay for the other flight or not go. He refused to pay, saying it wasn't his fault anyways, and decided to not go. Wow, this guy's a real winner. I think he should have packed his own bag and not relied on his wife after she had already told him that she wasn't going to do it. This was totally his fault, and OP is definitely not the a-hole. Alright, that's going to be it for this video. I'll catch you in the next one. See you later.